We've got 9th to 12th grade teams in-house football this morning. Because it's the last weekend of the holidays, we've invited the teams down and we've organised it ourselves, and so we've got 3 fields out here that have been played on. Gosh, where do I start? We have 1,300 playing members at the club, and so right across the Hibiscus Coast area we have a technical director, and with that we do coaching in the schools, all the primary schools. We have paid coaches go in and they either do lunchtime sessions or they do afternoon, after school fundamentals, which is all about fun. It's all about getting children involved in the sport and hopefully then registering with the club. We also have, we're an accredited club with our appropriate licence, so we have a skills centre, which is not just for Hibiscus Coast players, it's for players all in this region. We do a goalkeeper academies, we do development, 7th and 8th grade development. Yeah, a lot of programs.
We've been working with the schools really closely for the last 5 years, and that has allowed us to promote our programs, our activities in the schools, but also that means that when the schools want to think about sports, football, they come to us. We also are running the Football in the School program, which is in the school hours we go and deliver a curriculum. So that was set up about 4 years ago by New Zealand Football and NFF, and we're still running it. So this time, for example, we're going to Stamford Bay and we're going to run the program. So it's school hours once a week for 8 weeks. We're going to be there coaching every kid in the school. We've done it in few schools in the area. That again is another way to build up a link, to create awareness, and to make sure that kids know that there is an option when they want to play a sport, which is football, and that also is reflected in the registrations that we have every year.
We have about 350 5 to 8-year-olds. We run a development program for the better 7th and 8th grade players, and then at 9th, 10th up we do trials for teams, so the better players get put in the top teams, acknowledging that most players are social players, so we cater for them as well. And then as the players come through, we send teams to the Weir Rose Bowl, 12th grade Weir Rose Bowl tournament, and then as they become better youth players we look to bring them into the men's reserve team, which I coach, and I've coached for a number of years. And like this year, out of a 14-man squad, 10 of them are under 18 and about 5 16, 17 years old. So, there's pathways there, but there's also pathways for those who want to be social players and just want to play with their friends. And this year we've had a couple of new teams, young teams, almost like under 19 teams that can play, and then they just play senior social football, but they're a bunch of friends. And everybody knows that people like playing with their friends, whether it be over 45s, over 30s, whatever. And we try and keep them involved in the sport. And like all sports across the country, keeping teenagers involved and in the game is a real critical area.
Yeah, well, as I say, the main thing for us as a club is to make sure that that we become part of the community, that we offer a program for every child who comes to us. This maybe sounds contradictory, but we want to be the best in both. So we have our skill centers, we have our TDPs, and we want to offer the best options for elite players, but for us it's as important the community side. So we have festivals, we are looking after the social players, and we are making sure that first programs are affordable. So we are not trying to make a big amount of money or profit out of that. We want to make sure that it's accessible, but secondly that we have a program for every single level of development. So if it's social, if it's development, if it's elite, they will find something at the club that will meet the purpose.
I think, like all clubs, we're just pleased to get underway. Yes, COVID has impacted on us financially, but the bottom line is what happens out on the field is getting as many people in the community involved in sport. And look, for me, I don't care what sport, any sport, but obviously football is my passion. And to see the numbers out here and see them training, playing, and enjoying themselves, it's good for the community because it keeps them involved, particularly at youth level. It keeps them off the streets, it keeps them active. And it's good both physically, mentally, socially, And all sports teach life skills, which they can use later on.
Oh, we were overwhelmed when we were given the heads up. We had to go through a stage of getting everybody safe out there and the different regulations and procedures for health and safety. And that was the only held back that we had, but we had to do it. Once that was done, everybody was eager to get on the fields, and now the teams are just out there training every day. Even the teams that were supposed to be training with the NRF TDP, they're happily training 3 times a week and wanting to do more. So it has actually had a double effect. So kids wanting to catch up on the time that they didn't play by training more and putting more effort into the sport. So we see plenty of smiles out there and plenty of kids having a great time every day.
It's about people playing sport. You know, you see from COVID, and I certainly saw it from my work perspective, that the lockdown, it did impact people, you know, mentally, physically, you know, socially. So that first weekend when we were playing football and you saw the little kids out here and you see the smile on their face when they're running around kicking a ball, it has to be so good. And tell you what, the biggest smiles from the parents. Oh, look, as I've said, you know, I've been at this club for 25 years. It's grown from 182 5 to 17-year-olds to over 1,000 now. And the club itself is 1,300. We are a big part of the community, and we're more than just a club. We're a big football family, and as part of that community, we're widespread. You know, and I've got to thank the volunteers. You know, with 1,300 players, we totally rely on all our volunteers. You know, where they coach, where they manage, where they wash shirts, where they just help out around the club at photo time and stuff like that. So it's a big thanks to the volunteers, and like all clubs, sponsors. And I know that, you know, you can see the sponsors' names behind me on the club rooms. We just need to thank our sponsors. It's been tough for a lot of them through COVID, but they're still supporting us, and we want to still support them.